The bridge had been there since 1928, a narrow, single-lane concrete arch that crossed the lazy creek, separating my 5 acres from the rest of the world. My grandfather built the house in '57, and the bridge came with the deed like an old dog that refused to die. Everybody called it my bridge because the driveway started on my side, but the county had maintained it since the flood of '73. I had the survey pins, the plat maps, the letters from the county engineer going back 40 years. None of that mattered to the new HOA board. They showed up on a Tuesday morning in March, 3 pickup trucks and a track hoe the color of dried blood. I was drinking coffee on the porch when I heard the first bucket hit concrete. By the time I got my boots on and ran down the hill, half the railing was already in the creek.
"You can't do this," I yelled over the diesel roar.
The operator killed the engine. A woman in a blazer and sunglasses stepped out of the late truck like she was serving papers instead of committing grand theft concrete. Her nameplate read, Tiffany Whitmore. "Mr. Callahan," she said, smiling the way people smile when they already know they're wrong but have decided to be wrong louder. "This unauthorized structure has been on the violation list for 18 months. Today is the remediation date." I held up the folder I'd grabbed on my way out the door. "It's a county bridge. Here's the maintenance record from 2019. Signed by the county road superintendent." She didn't even glance at it. "We sent certified letters. You didn't appeal within the allotted window." The traco coughed back to life. Another chunk of my childhood fell into the water with a sound like a gunshot. I called the sheriff. Dispatch said it was a civil matter. I called the county engineer. He was in a meeting. I called my lawyer. He was in court. By noon, the bridge was a pile of rebar and regret, and Tiffany Whitmore was taking selfies in front of it for her neighborhood Facebook group, captioned "Another win for property values cheap." I stood in the mud and watched the creek run over what used to be the road. My truck was on the far side. My boat was on the far side. My life was suddenly on the far side. The only way in or out now was a half-mile hike through blackberry brambles or a 20-minute detour on a dirt road that turned to soup every time it rained. That night I sat on the porch with a bottle of bourbon and stared at the dark scar where the bridge had been. I wasn't even that angry anymore. I was calm the way the creek gets calm right before it eats your barn. The next morning, the county engineer finally called back. "Jesus Christ, they took the whole thing," he said when I sent him the photos. There was a long pause. "That was bridge inventory 047-19. State-funded, federally tracked. You still got those old maintenance records?" "Everyone."
Good. Don't talk to the HOA. Don't post anything online. Just send me everything you have.
2 weeks later, a white county truck pulled into my driveway with a magnetic sign that read "Emergency Road Closure." They put up barricades, orange cones, and a sign that said "County Bridge Detroit, no through traffic." Then they left. Nothing happened for a month. The HOA mowed their common areas, held their Easter egg hunt, and pretended the gaping hole in the earth didn't exist. Tiffany posted photos of new flower baskets on the entrance sign. Then the certified letters started arriving at houses with the fancy stone mailboxes. The first letter was polite. It informed the HOA that they had unlawfully destroyed public infrastructure and that the county would be seeking full restitution for replacement costs, currently estimated at $487,000, plus engineering and environmental mitigation. The second letter, 2 weeks later, was less polite. It included invoices, itemized down to the last yard of concrete and linear foot of guardrail, and a deadline of 30 days to remit payment or face legal action. The third letter came from the State Attorney General's office. Someone had filed a whistleblower complaint. Nobody knows who. Wink. And suddenly, there were questions about fiduciary duty, criminal mischief, and whether certain board members had personally profited from the demolition contract awarded to a company owned by Tiffany Whitmore's brother-in-law. The Facebook group imploded. Longtime residents who'd kept quiet during the beautification years suddenly remembered every petty fine they'd ever paid for the wrong shade of beige paint. Someone leaked a demolition contract. Someone else leaked Tiffany's texts, bragging that knocking down that eyesore would add 10 grand to every house value overnight. Special assessments were proposed, $4,200 per household. Half the neighborhood threatened to sue the board. The other half threatened to sell and let the bank deal with it. 3 families put their houses on the market the same week. The listings all mentioned
Order
no
in
bridge
the
access
court.
in the fine print. The county, bless their bureaucratic hearts, moved with the speed of continental drift and the mercy of a glacier. They scheduled the replacement bridge for the 2027 construction season. Budget reasons. In the meantime, they installed a temporary pedestrian footbridge, 4 feet wide, no vehicles over 500 pounds, and told me I was welcome to use it. I bought a side-by-side UTV and a winch. I still have to park on the far side and haul groceries across like a pack mule, but I manage. Last month, the HOA attorney tried to settle with the county for 200 cows. The county countered with 612 cows to include interest and legal fees. The judge laughed them out of the room. Tiffany Whitmore's house is in foreclosure. The brother-in-law's excavation company filed Chapter 7. The neighborhood entrance sign still has the flower baskets, but half the petunias are dead. Sometimes, late at night, I sit on my porch with the same bottle of bourbon, it's lasting a long time now, and listen to the creek. The water runs a little faster without the bridge to slow it down, and the sound is almost like laughter. The county sent me a letter last week. They're naming the new bridge after my grandfather, the man who built this house and kept that bridge painted every 5 years, whether it needed it or not. I framed the letter, and every time a moving truck pulls out of the neighborhood with another for sale sign in the yard, I raise a quiet glass to petty vengeance, patient bureaucrats, and the fact that sometimes the long game is the only game worth playing. The creek keeps laughing. I just smile and let it.